Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining in for our district guidance for distance learning Q&A. I just want to do a video and audio check, so if we have a participant to please confirm that they can see and hear me, we will begin. Okay, perfect. So, as we all know, we have been placed in a position that is relatively new to us. And it is our goal to keep the students at the focus of our attempts to provide a quality education. So, the state has mandated that all public schools in Florida, through the State Commissioner of Education, the parents be provided options to attend school. And Hendry County has provided 3 options. One, to attend traditional in-person on-campus schools beginning on August 31st. And of course we have the distance learning option, which was our option 2. Then we have a virtual option, which we have an in-house virtual solution for secondary, and we also have support K-12, virtual school, and then parents do have the choice of choosing a virtual school, such as Florida Virtual or another virtual school of their choice. So, first, I think it's important that we focus on the vision and relate our current structure to the vision of the district and the goals. So our overall mission of Hendry County School District and the purpose of education is to prepare students to be productive and caring adults that contribute to our community. So within this context, we believe that technology is a tool for learning that expands our instructional repertoire and is a vehicle to maximize the capacity of all teachers and learners. So it is our vision that students be engaged in stimulating academic environment, a challenging curriculum that is student-centered and focused on inquiry-based learning. And we use this vision to create the following guidance. Here we have our expectations for time and attendance for distance, for option 2, distance learning. So beginning on August 24th, all students will engage in a minimum of 5 hours of an allocated instructional time and a minimum of 45 minutes per course at the high school level. Now, this does not mean that students will have to participate in continuous live streaming of coursework or live stream of lesson plans at either elementary or secondary. And that is because of the fact, the very real fact, that we live in Hendry County, which is a rural community that does not have adequate internet access to all students in order to support this type of infrastructure. We will get into that more as we continue. How we will also accomplish that allocated time will also be described. In concerns to attendance, we will take attendance in Focus, which is our student information system, as usual. We will submit daily attendance or by period, and if a student completes the daily assignments and minimum participation requirements, they will be counted as present. Attendance can be retroactively submitted for up to 1 day. So the goal of that is so that if students complete work outside of the teacher's work day, that teachers can go in the next day for the purpose of flexibility on the teacher's behalf and the student's behalf and the families, that the teachers can go back the day prior and mark those students present because they did complete that day's assignments and they did complete the mandatory participation requirements that that teacher created for those students. Okay, expectations for the teacher. This little section here is something that has been put into these guidance several times and is very important because it's kind of the basis of how this is created. So we must all be aware of the very large percentage of students that will not be able to participate in synchronous learning environments. That means that the live streaming, Google Meet, Zoom, GoGuardian video conferencing, whatever you choose to host this live interaction video conferencing of it, it was not going to be possible due to internet connectivity issues. Because even students, if they're provided with a hotspot, these hotspots are limited by their data allowance. Specific data allowances, we'll bring that up shortly. But expecting to exist in a traditional instructional model of extended live lectures will not be successful. We will work regular school hours from assigned school building if medically able. Also, we've created a distance learning checklist. The intent is that this distance learning checklist is completed. It's designed so you kind of have just a little checklist to make sure that you are fully prepared for a distance learning environment. It goes through devices, some technology, Google Classroom codes. So if you take the time to go through this, you'll notice that it's very beneficial for you as you prepare and design your distance learning and help you identify any areas where you may need some additional support. Even though most students may not be able to participate in the continuous live streaming or synchronous learning environment, it still is important that we provide opportunities for live interactive instruction via Google Meets and GoGuardian, etc. And that could be for whole class, large group, small group, or individual instruction. But even if these opportunities are provided, it is also important to note that due to circumstances outside of our control, that all students may not be able to participate in those opportunities, even if they want to. Other requirements from the teacher expectations on the school site, as far as what's federal regulations and state regulations and school site rules and expectations are labeled below. We have also labeled out expectations for parent and student. Also note to this disclaimer for parents and students, and this can also be provided to your parents and students, is that we will provide the teaching options noted above, but may not be able to accommodate all students due to internet access. Because there are some areas in our county that even a hotspot will not be functional. So if that is the case, then school staff will work individually with the students to provide other options. Here we have curriculum expectations. Teachers instructing remote learners continue to collaborate with colleagues through PLCs, collaborative planning times, strive to accomplish the same curriculum goals that a child would accomplish in the same school building. Now, even though we are attempting to accomplish the same curriculum goals, it means the same standards mastery along the same timeline. It does not necessarily mean in the same manner. is also expected that all teachers will use and utilize Google Classroom to view daily expectations, post daily announcements, and assignments. And the purpose of that is because what we want to see and be able to refer to is a simple, simplified, systematic approach of digital instruction so that parents and students and teachers can all utilize and access the same platform and guide instruction through that platform and within it. So to ensure continuity of instruction, students will be held to high expectations, much higher expectations than what they were held to during the first part whenever we were dismissed during the last semester. And this does include student engagement, the attendance, the course content, task completions, assignments, grading, and assessments. However, these high expectations, they must be surrounded by a degree of flexibility to be equitable and to help ensure student success. Technology devices. It's important that we utilize the district-provided one-to-one digital devices for all students, beginning with the devices that would have been taken out of inventory due to the refresh program. So those disbursements would have been the oldest devices first for those take-home cases. The reason why it is recommended that all students take a device home is because this is a guaranteed way that students remain safe online, that the district-provided filtering and security systems are in place for those students that are navigating online, that students stay safe online, and so that programs like GoGuardian are functional for all students. But we will supply hotspots to students that have that identified need. The hotspots that we currently have available, we do have over 1,000 hotspots available for all students K through 12, but they do have to be assigned to specific students. And if that information is not gathered at the school site and those hotspots are not assigned to that specific student, then those hotspots will not be dispersed to them. So talking about data allowances with hotspots, this is one of the most important aspects of this guidance plan. Hotspots have 10 gigabytes of 4G high-speed internet access per month. So here's the very real fact. This provides about 4 hours of synchronous learning environment. That means that each student with a hotspot that depends on that hotspot for internet access would be able to participate in an equivalent of 4 hours of Google Meet per month. That does not recycle or refresh for 30 days. Once that 4G internet speed, that 10 gigabytes of that 4G internet speed is reached, then that speed will drop to a minimum of 2G. We're hoping that the majority of that speed will rest at 3, but the minimum is guaranteed at 2. And while 2G internet will not support continuous live instruction, it will allow assignment completion and viewing of recorded lessons, recorded short lessons. So the longer the video, the longer the lesson, if it's a full 45-minute class time period of instruction, it's going to be very difficult even at that speed to watch the entire lesson. It may take double the time for that student to participate in that. So short lessons, demonstrations, activities would be key to helping assist these students that have parents that have selected this option that has been guaranteed to our students and families by the state. So the next part of this guidance statement is we've broken down into sections for primary and secondary, since both of these instructional models are quite different in how the distance learning is being managed. So primary has dedicated distance learning teachers. And once again, we have here that the very important fact that teachers at the elementary level and at all levels must be aware of a very large percentage of students that will not be able to participate in an asynchronous learning environment. So that even if provided with a hotspot, these hotspots are limited by their data allowance. And also, at the primary level, be aware of the necessary parental support structures that need to be in place for younger students to be successful. Attempting to fit a traditional instructional model into a distance learning environment will not be successful. Parents, students, and families should not be penalized for work obligations, socioeconomic status, or internet access. Attendance may be retroactively submitted for the prior day if assignments and participation requirements are completed. So here we have a bulleted list of guidance statements where teachers will provide continuity of instruction through concurrent teaching, so each grade level group of students can progress together, utilize digital textbooks if they are available, make all lessons accessible in digital format, build Google Classroom course content, and organize that content by topic modules that are easy to follow, not only for the students, but for the parents as well. Utilize a variety of communication systems, such as Remind, email, classroom messages, and GoGuardian. Provide recorded lessons and demonstrations in Google Classroom. Some examples of this that I've seen be successful is some grade level teams have one teacher record a lesson for each subject area, teach like the students are there, ask questions, provide wait time, encourage students to press pause, complete small activities before continuing, etc. Have dedicated office hours and other opportunities for you to connect with your students. Encourage and create opportunities for group work and collaboration. And that can be through Meet links or use the GoGuardian video conferencing. You check in on your sessions and have support staff to assist. Provide additional digital resources at all grade levels. And there is a consolidated list of all district resources available in Tech for Teachers and the Tech for Teachers Google Classroom. It's also in your Clever portal as far as what programs are available and district purchased. Monitor progress and engagement with GoGuardian. Document necessary interventions to support student success, work in collaborative teams, and work with teachers to support staff to connect with disengaged students. Here is a list of coursework that is proven to be successful in distance learning environments and should be considered as you plan and create your lessons for these students that are participating in distance learning options here. Do we have any questions for primary?
It would apply to both.
Okay. All right, so
And
should we answer those now or wait till the end?
you can wait if you want to finish this.
Okay. All right, so let's go on to secondary. So notice once again, we have that very important statement that there's a very large percentage of students that will not be able to participate in synchronous learning environments due to internet connectivity issues.
And that's what the question is about.
Okay.
So,
Even with hotspots, there's data allowances. Here's one of the important differences between the primary and secondary guidance statements is that due to the autonomy of children in the secondary age group, students should be expected to participate in lesson completion during your allocated class time with the option of direct contact with you when needed. So teachers will provide daily lessons made available in Google Classroom, have a daily check-in discussion board in Google Classroom which would help meet those participation requirements. Make all material digitally available in classroom. Clearly outlined expectations related to participation and assignment completion. Have attendance flexibility as long as there is daily coursework completion and the alternate daily participation requirements are met. Have dedicated office hours, even if that's not a full hour, and other opportunities for you to connect with your students. Encourage and create opportunities for group work and collaboration. Provide additional digital resources, which are also this consolidated list of resources is available in Tech for Teachers Google Classroom. Monitor progress and engagement with your guardian. Continue to provide and document necessary interventions. Continue to work in collaborative teams and work with your support staff to connect with disengaged students. Again, here's a list of topics and lesson ideas to consider that have been proven to be successful in the distance learning environment. Finally, we have for the secondary classrooms and students is the Henry Online Learning Academy. This is our in-house virtual alternative and is a recommended choice for parents and students who would have chosen virtual school option 3. And this choice will be facilitated by dedicated distance learning online instructors at the secondary level by Henry County teachers. And these teachers will follow the same expectations as other instructors and will utilize Edmentum curriculum to support students who choose this virtual learning model. So that is the basics of this plan to help assist with all of us moving forward. It is designed with the intent to help our students be the most successful that we can possibly have them be in this current situation. And I will now open up the floor to some questions.
Okay, so, the question is, with the live stream teaching, is that not a good option for distance learning students with hotspots? And in that same area, does participating in a small or large group Google Meet require high-speed hotspot? So maybe it's a little bit more clarification on what that really means what it looks like as a teacher.
Okay. So, if I'm a student and I have a hotspot, that means that when I connect to a Google Meet, that is going to require high-speed internet access in order for me to actually be able to participate. So if I have a hotspot, that means that I will have to have the 4G, the 10 gigabyte 4G access to participate in that virtual video conferencing. That means that no matter if it is with one other student in a Google Meet, a group of students in a Google Meet, or a Google Meet that has been opened during a live lesson in the school by my teacher. And despite the type of situation, if I connect to a Google Meet, I will have to have high-speed internet access. Does that answer it?
That answers the group one. So, is the recommendation I guess the question around, is live streaming not a good choice for distance learning students with hotspots? How would you accomplish that then?
If I were to live stream a lesson, which I'm not saying that live streaming a lesson is a bad idea, but what needs to be realized is that there is a percentage of those students that will not be able to participate in that live lesson. So how we handle that means that we are going to have to make alternative plans for that percentage of students that cannot participate in that live instructional model. So there are various reasons of why that student may not be able to participate. One being they may have a hotspot. So participating in your live lesson every day is impossible. But even outside of the city limits of LaBelle or Clewiston, the internet access provided is not sufficient enough so that a student can participate in a live stream all day, every day. For example, I know this personally, that CenturyLink, and I live in LaBelle, has 1.4 megabytes internet access to my house. So if I paid for internet access through CenturyLink, then even my children would not be able to participate in that live streaming classroom, daily classroom, because of the fact, the very real fact, that the internet that comes to my house that is available to me is not fast enough to do that. So what is their alternative? There should be some type of quick, short recordings available to them. All of the lessons should be online. Some alternative participation assignments available so that they can participate in discussion boards, or some type of interaction made available. Maybe perhaps make quick connections with the teachers through the GoGuardian video conferencing while they're completing their assignments, especially at the elementary level, or if it's at the high school level. Maybe they can jump in for a few minutes during your live instruction. If you do have a Google Meet open, and they can just click in for a few minutes, maybe ask a question, maybe jump in for 5 or 10 minutes during your open office hours, make that connection, ask questions in Google Classroom, ask questions in the discussion board that you made available in Google Classroom. So that way it is possible to see that students are online, they are in Google Classroom, they are participating in the discussion boards and the prompts and the participation requirements set forth, so that the internet connectivity is not restricting them and it's not setting them up for failure.
2 questions. Does GoGuardian video chat screen share require the same high speed as well as what Google Meet would?
All video conferencing, despite the type of company that provides it, would require high-speed internet. So whether you choose Google Meet, Zoom, or GoGuardian video conferencing, if you enable live video conferencing, then it will require high-speed internet. There is an alternative if you set up a Google Meet inside of Calendar, for example. There is a live stream option. I will show you that. And the live stream option doesn't actually allow students to participate, it allows them to view, and that does require less bandwidth. So if you notice, if I'm in an event and I add Google Meet conferencing, I have the option here to add live stream, and that will produce an entirely separate link that I can copy and paste in my classroom. And this live stream link will be like the video you're watching now, where it's hosted, but it does not require the same level of bandwidth that a video conferencing tool would require. Now, I still would not be able to guarantee that this would be something that a student with a hotspot or limited internet activity would be able to watch the entire time. But however, the live stream that is taking place would be less bandwidth and more likely for them to jump in for a few minutes or more.
We have a question around, so if you use Google Meet to record a live lesson, and you have the video available, and you post that, when the students using hotspots view the recorded lesson, does that fall under that same requirement of it's going to need to be high speed, or do they, is it?
Recorded lessons do not require the high-speed internet access. The reason why in-person live virtual conferencing requires high-speed internet access is because there's no time for buffering. Like, you cannot interact with a person and expect there to be delays and buffering and load time. When you have a recorded video, then high speed is not necessary because that can take place and not interfere with the content of the lesson. So if you take a short recorded video or a recorded session of your video conference or your live stream of your lesson, and you make that available in the classroom as a recording, then even at lower speeds of internet, those students will be able to view that, even if they have to, say, download the video or let it load for a few minutes before they actually start.
Can you do a Google Meet and a live stream at the same time? Probably not.
There is,
Can you have both
you
links?
can do both, yes. So if you start your Google Meet, you can have Google Meet and you can also live stream the Google Meet, yes. You just have to provide both links.
Yeah, so here's the questions right now. Make sure you throw them out when you're talking.
Okay.
Is there other things you want to cover? Okay.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
You want to talk about how to get support?
Okay, so to get support, I know that we have, I apologize. We have construction going on again. And I'm trying my best to make sure that you can actually hear me. So, if you take a look at the district tab here that is installed, it's a bookmark folder. If you click on that, you'll notice you have IT support and help desk. This IT support and help desk is for more than just if your printer doesn't work, or you have your document camera that's failed, or you can't log into your desktop. This is also for distance learning support and for instructional support. So if you notice, there is an instructional technology support section, and there is distance learning online, where we can provide remote technical support for your students and parents. However, if you have students or parents that need tech support, we ask that the teacher fill out this form on their behalf and provide the necessary contact information for our IT staff, and then we will make contact with that parent or student or ask the teacher for clarifying information. Also, please remember that all of our trainings that we have done last week and will continue to finish out today, all those recordings are available on our Tech for Teachers live YouTube channel and inside of our Google Classroom Tech for Teachers.
She said, would there be a reason someone does not see that district tab up there?
If you do not see that district tab, then there is a good chance that you are in the wrong organizational unit. And if you would please send an email to me, adamsj@henry-schools.net, and we will make sure that you are placed in the correct staff OU inside of our Google Admin Console so that you have access to that.
There's some questions about their donor.
So are there any other questions about the district guidance for distance learning? Or the distance learning checklist?
Just the district tab shows in the Chromebook, but not on the desktop. Like, on the teacher desktop, they don't see it, but they see it.
Okay, if you're not seeing this district tab on your desktop, then it probably just means that you are not logged into Chrome and your information is not synced.
There's some questions about Google Classroom, but I told you tell them there's a Google Classroom at 10.
Okay. All right, so we do have some makeup sessions today and some duplicate sessions that are occurring today, and those include Google Classroom, Jamboard, converting digital material, and we will also have another Flipgrid session today. So we encourage you to participate in those if you have not yet. And if you are unable to join any of those meetings and have not watched those, then those video recordings will be made available to you in the Tech for Teachers classroom. I want to thank everybody for joining in today. I know that even given within our given circumstances, that all of us will do our absolute best to continue to provide the highest quality education that we possibly can to our students. Thank you very much for your time this morning.